is a Chicago storyteller, former city planner, future master gardener, two-time Moth Grand Slam winner, which is a huge deal. And just last week, she performed in a Moth main stage show in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. She is outstanding. Please put your hands together. Big round of applause for Marya Morris.
$70?
$70.
Per person?
Big, 11 is all you can eat.
It's not the smorgasbord of my youth.
No, it's not.
At some point during that kind of meal, I think I would be overtaken by the grim thought of the structure of the animal which I'm tearing apart. All right. This story took place about 10 plus years ago. I was a city planner. Actually, I was a consultant, and I traveled all over the country helping municipalities rewrite their zoning ordinances. I no longer do that, so don't come up after me and tell me what horrible zoning experience you had. Most of my work was in places that were growing really fast. And so I got to go to luxurious destinations like Cape Coral, Florida, and Sugar Land, Texas. And this one trip was to Tyler, Texas, which was the heart of East Texas. And it's about 2 miles or 2 hours east of Dallas. And the people there are different than me. I didn't enjoy my time working out there. They asked me what church I go to, and I didn't know what to say, so I said, I go to church with my friends sometimes, and whatever they go to, I go with them. And that wasn't Southern Baptist, so they're like, okay. Anyway, so I'm out there, and I'm kind of miserable, and I was not doing too well in this particular job, to the point where I kind of wanted to miss my flight sometime when I had to go down there, and I would sort of like leave the house late and be like, oh gosh, hope I make it to the airplane. And I'd gone out there this one day, and I was had a hard day, and I drove back to Dallas rather than stay out there, and I stayed at a friend of mine's house who lived really close to DFW. And this friend, his name is Kyle, and I've known him since I was 16, and he is responsible for every bad thing I've ever done in my life. And most of which was drug related. And so I get to his house, and he's got the cocktail waiting for me at the door, and I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible. And I had a 5:45 a.m. flight, and he said, I said, I have to get to sleep, but I'm kind of wired. He's like, well, why don't I give you an Ambien? I was like, I don't know. I'm a person who understands that every pill has a purpose. My rule of thumb generally is one's good, two's better. I tried everything in our youth. If Quaaludes were still legal, I wouldn't be standing here, put it that way. I love them. So this is a big deal. I said, no, I've never taken an Ambien. I want to make sure to get up to this flight. So he gave me the pill, and I put it on the counter in the guest bathroom, and I went to sleep. My alarm rang, and I get up and I go in the bathroom, and there's a pill, and I just put it in my mouth and took it. It was a sleeping pill. I took it 5:45 in the morning. That might have some consequences for my day, but we'll have to see. So an hour and a half later, I'm in my seat on American Airlines. I'm in 21A, and all of a sudden, like I'm watching myself, and I'm doing like these pirouettes in my seat, and I'm like, I wonder when I'm gonna stop spinning. And the guy next to me sits down, and I'm like trying to like disappear, and the pilot's like, oh, sorry folks, we got a little delay here. There's a problem with the light in the lavatory. We're gonna be a couple of minutes. And the guy next to me, he's like, God damn it, American Airlines, they suck. They can't even fix a lavatory light in time to keep a flight on time. And I'm thinking to myself, don't think he said anything about the lavatory. And 21B goes, yes, he did. How did he hear me think that? And so I take out the American Airlines, American Way magazines, and I'm reading it like this. And then he said, look out that window, you see those bolts in the wing? And I looked like I didn't know who he was talking to. I'm like, yeah, because I invented those. And I think to myself, you fucking invented airline wing bolts? That was like in 1910. You're trying to impress me? And 21B goes, are you being rude to me for a reason? I'm like, how did he know I thought that? And I get on my phone and I'm texting people, and then I call my boss and I'm like, I'm gonna be late. I'm in a murder mystery involving the airplane. I'll let you know what happens. And I text Kyle, and all that came out was, I tinky, took, hole, and bend. Vision. F-K-U-U-T. Fakut. So the man next to me continues to talk to me, and he said, is there anything I can do for you? And I said, you're gonna have to stop talking. I don't like having my mind read. And he said, do you want me to ring the bell and see if you can get off the plane? Because we weren't moving yet. And I said, I would like you to get off the plane and I'll ring the bell for you. And the thing about hallucinating is you remember it, right? So this is all being stored back in whichever part of the brain stores that kind of shit. But not in the moment. In the moment, you're just thinking everybody else is being unreasonable. So finally, we fall asleep. We, together, 21B and I, no. I fell asleep and I wake up and I'm the only person on the plane. And the people with the trash bags and dust busters are like, lady, 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 lady. They wake me up. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm in Chicago. And I get off the plane and I have my car at the airport. And I go to where I park, which was near Elevator Center 4, because it goes right down the escalator into the Terminal 3, and I can't find my car. It's a 1995 Toyota Corolla, license plate C61663. And I am on the right level. I go up and down every single row. I walk down the stairs, I go up and down every single row. And finally the guy in the cart comes and says, are you lost? I said, yes, I just got here yesterday and I don't know where my car is. And so he's driving me around, and I said, can you slow down? And he said, we're not moving. Well, when you start moving, can you make it really slow? And he said, it's a golf cart. So we're creeping around the airport parking lot, and he can't find my car, I can't find my car. I'm like, do you think it was stolen? And he said, well, I've heard that Corollas are really popular cars to steal, and he's got some reason for it, and Camrys. And so I'm like, oh, this would be, well, I guess it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, because I want a different car. He said, yeah, well, we'll see. Let's go down to the office and we'll watch the film from when you came in yesterday to see exactly where you parked. So then what does he do in the fucking golf cart? We go down that thing. And then we're shooting toward the office garage, and I see this car. It's a midnight blue Audi A4, license plate C61663. I'd sold the Corolla 2 years prior. And I say to the man, I have the keys for this one too. He said, all right, lady. Is there anything else I can do for you? I said, no, I'm good. So I get in the car, I drive to my office, and my boss was a good friend of mine, but he was also kind of a dick as a boss. And he's like, what was the nonsense with hallucinating on the plane and food? And I'm like, can you just sit down? I can tell you how handsome you are. He said, do you want to go home? I'm like, no, just let's talk about how good looking you are. Anywho, that was the last time I was on any sort of hallucinogenic trip, and I have to say, after all that, I think Nancy Reagan, that awful woman, may have been right. Dare to stay off drugs. Thank you.
Keeping up for Marya Morris. All right, I'm gonna assume you have another song.
Got one.
It's true. All right, here we go.
Let's call this one Running on Ludes. Paradox inherent to that. You've ever done ludes? I can see it in their eyes, they're looking right through me. They ask me about the church, and I search around for quaaludes. I found a little pill, just cozy on my sink. I popped it in my brain, and I didn't stop to think. I didn't stop to think. Now I'm flying high, murder in the sky. I know you're talking to me, but I left my brain at home. I left my brain at home. So come with me to my quaalude land. We'll cruise on the strip in a golf cart. Hallucinated zoning ordinance for fun. Let's run, let's run, let's run to the quaalude land.
That Duenow. That's 3 great stories and 3 great improvised songs. I mean, what are the odds that that could possibly happen? I mean, I don't even know. There's probably an algorithm for it. Look it up. We are going to take a break.